Right, hello Year 10. This is a video that is a recap for those of you who were there and a video for those of you who weren't there of the Year 10 sessions that have run at Ormiston Victory Academy over the past 2 weeks, looking at effective revision and recall. Now, we want you to know how to revise and look over stuff properly, make it effective, okay? And so we're going to be going through some different areas. What you're going to need to do during this presentation is watch me and listen to what I'm saying, but also sometimes there's going to be some little videos that I want you to click and I'd like you to watch. So you've got to be ready to pause me, watch what's going on, and there's also going to be attached to the Google Classroom the document that was given out to people in the sessions at school. So to start off with, areas that we're going to focus on. First of all, flashcards, making sure that we are using them effectively. Then we're going to be looking at Seneca. Mr. Thorold's going to go through that with you. Dual coding, which is something that I've been working on, which I think works really well. Visual organizers, big time picture timelines, and revision songs. So we've got these 6 different areas. To start off with, I'd like you to pause me and I'd like you to watch this video link which guides you through using flashcards effectively. So hopefully that's given you a good idea on how flashcards can be used effectively, not just writing random stuff down, but using them effectively. So what I'd suggest you do now is I'd like you to go to page 15 of the booklet that's attached, which is Crime and Punishment in Medieval England. I'd like you to take an A4 piece of paper, divide it into 4, folded once from top to bottom and then from side to side. So you've got 4 flashcards. And what I'd like you to do there is I'd like you to have a go at creating your own flashcards, focusing on the topics on there. See what you can come up with. So pause me and then we can move on. So hopefully you've got an idea about flashcards and how to use them effectively. Share what you do with your teachers and we'd love to see what you're doing. So the next thing is how to effectively revise using some online tools. We've got Seneca, which we all know about. We love Seneca, and Quizlet. So again, what I'd like you to do is to watch the video link, which you can see there, and see what Mr. Thorold has got to say. So I suppose one of the key things I would say is you need to get going with Seneca, but Quizlet if you want as well, and starting to build up. Now, what's really important is that you don't just focus on the most recent thing you've done. In fact, that's probably one of the worst things you can do is just do the most recent stuff. I would suggest you want to look back at some of the really old stuff that we did right at the start of the course in Year 9, Crime and Punishment, for instance. So have a look and see how you get on. So the next thing is what is called dual coding, which is adding images to your ideas, which can really help information stick. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is again watch this video that I recorded, which will guide you through the ideas behind dual coding. What is it? How can it help you? Why bother? Why is Mr. Mayhew so obsessed with it? So following on from that, it's clear that the images you use in dual coding, which would just be little things that go along with your writing, is simple, focused, and they should support the point. They should be relevant, not something completely oblique and random that you won't remember in a week's time. Just you put it there because it's funny. So to give you some examples here, this is to do with the Indian treaties, the Native American treaties. You can see here to allow white settlers to travel across their through Indian territory. You can see the arrow and the mountain saying going through here to pay compensation if the treaty was broken. So you've got here a dollar sign and so on. Little images mean your brain processes it in 2 ways. Here, what I'd like you to do is have a go at coming up with your own ones for here. So pause this and then have a go at coming up with just some little symbols to summarize what is in each section of information about crime and punishment, specifically punishments that you can see here. So pause me and see how you get on. Flip it over as the video said, and you can do it the other way. So here, you could look at these and think, well, what are these? So the first one, look at it, try and work out, pause me, and we'll see if we can work them out, or you can work them out. I already know, I made them. So pause me and see if you can work out what each of these are. Now, they're features of Norman crime and punishment. So pause me. When you're done, unpause me. So the first one is the forest laws, and here the I because blinding was one of the punishments used. Next one, you've got, oh, this person on the floor, it's the murderum fine. The last one, you've got a group of people, you've got a tie. Yes, of course, it's tithings. So it's a nice, simple way to try and get you to remember and think about these features, okay? So I want you to use page 17 in the revision guide to create some simple dual-coded definitions for punishments and individuals, and then use 17 to flip it back. Come up with 3 images and combinations for any area and see if you can get someone to guess it. You can email your friends, send them pictures. So you should have paused me now. So the next thing, using graphic organizers. Again, what I'd like you to do is watch the video, pause me obviously, watch that video, and it will go through using graphic organizers for you. So pause me now and then carry on in a second when you've watched it. So here is a fishbone diagram. It explains cause and consequence. So here you've got the settlement of the West as the main theme running throughout. And this isn't all of it. This is just some of them. So the Oregon Trail, you can see a path through the Rockies makes it easier than the sea. The land crossing east and west and so on. You've got the causes for settlement of the West, the path through the Rockies, the consequence, crossing tribal lands, increased numbers of settlers. In actual fact, you could always color code it a bit more. But the point is, these diagrams can be very useful in showing a particular way of thinking. This one, the flow spray diagram, is really good for the chronological overview and key features. So the Indian Removal Act is to do with the Cherokee. 46,000 of them moved to the plains. The Trail of Tears is when they're moved across. Horrible event, and they're forced to do this. So the next major event is the Indian Permanent Frontier, the frontier between white and tribal lands, again divided up. Settlers cross it, though. Oregon Trail, Gold Rush. So although it's called a permanent frontier, as we know, it's not permanent. So again, it's a way of organizing your information. You could do a really long, big one for this. Venn diagrams you are used to. This is showing obviously some of the wars. You could add more detail into it, but it's showing Black Kettle's War and Little Crow's War had far more to do with each other than Red Cloud's War. The big difference was Red Cloud's War was a success. Okay. So again, it's nice to show similarity and difference. And the mind map here, keeping it simple. Now, when you do a mind map, you make sure you don't put too much information down. As you can see, I've just put keywords. And again, I would start to add some dual coding to this as my next stage. Again, making your brain think about it in more than one way makes it more sticky in your brain. And that's one that I did for showing some of these sort of images and stuff that I've done by hand before, showing the First World War. So what I'd like you to do is using one of these types of designs, I'd like you to come up with one of your own topics, one of your own ones, and depending on which topic you do, try and pick out whichever of these diagrams you think works best. Okay, so you've got Law and Order in the West, rise and fall of the cattle industry, American West migration. Give it a go. Pause me now. So you should have unpaused me now. I'd like you to watch this Loom video about big picture timelines. Using post notes and color coding can really show change in continuity. So give it a go. Pause me now. So here you can see I've started doing a big picture timeline using this information on the right. Okay, policing 1000 to 1500, policing in 1500 and so on. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Realistically, you're probably going to have more than one post-it note per thing, but it gives you the idea. I've put down here red to show continuity or change. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is start planning out a timeline for crime and punishment, focusing on one of the following areas: punishments, law enforcement, or criminal activity across the whole course. Okay, use the knowledge organizers and all the revision guides to help you do this. So you should have paused me then. If you haven't paused me, go back and do that task. Your last task is to go through this, which Miss Hales has got this wonderful section about songs and raps. So pause me, listen to what Miss Hales has to say. So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to follow through and see what Miss Hales just said for you to do. Give it a go. Thank you very much.